Guys, Charles Streaming bringing you another video, and today we got some Final Fantasy news! Final Fantasy VII Rebirth news, to be exact. And some new gameplay from GameSpot. Got some on-hands gameplay view, so we're going to go ahead and watch through that.
Hello everyone, I'm Lucy, joined by Tam.
Hello.
And last week we were in LA to play some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's cool. Cinematics in this game is crazy.
What we played, how long for, which parts
Especially when I played the remake.
So we played roughly 45 minutes, two parts of the game. The first slice was the Nibble mission, which involves, for those familiar with the original version of the game, Sephiroth, Cloud, Tifa leading them as their tour guide, going to investigate something. That was very action-focused to show off a little more of the combat mechanics and the changes to that. And then the second slice was a area around Junon, and it's presented more as of an open world slice of the game. I will say it definitely felt like an open world, but in terms of scale, it was quite limited because of they wanted to just ensure that we were, keeping focused a bit more. But in that area, they had a main mission, some side activities, items you could pick up, and various other ways to engage in the systems new and old.
Cards on the table here. I have not played the original Final Fantasy VII. I know I'm going to hand in my gaming badge and gun.
What are you talking about? Who told you that?
But from the perspective of someone who doesn't know where the story is going, felt great to kind of see those characters again and see a different side of them. Obviously, what I know of Sephiroth is that he's a big bad boy. And seeing Cloud and him team up, it was really fun to see, especially because they have these new sort of synergy
the original moves, I just never,
which this first demo kind of showed off in abundance.
Finished the
two of them. So basically, as you're playing, fill up those ATB
I was supposed to go back and do, and I still haven't done yet. So forgive me. But at least I played through the game. I can say that.
And it's also kind of like, in Persona, when everyone does a team-up attack, and it feels really cool just to see people cooperate and deal a bunch of damage. It felt like that for me. But in terms of, the story that I experienced through that, with zero context, I was like, damn, the internet is really going to love this, because they are laying in thick into, not shipping, but the relationship between them. I'm very excited to see what people are going to make of that.
You said you wanted to be a hero. Wish I had.
But Tam, as a big fan, what do you make of the changes in that mission?
Yeah, I think fundamentally it was... There's a lot going on, but I think, I speak for myself, it felt like quite a lot to get to grips with again, but it was a lot of those same mechanics from the previous one that made the combat so popular, the hybrid, dynamic, direct combat versus also, issuing orders and freezing time and that kind of stuff. But on top of that, they've got various new abilities, like when you're doing the standard attack, after you chain enough together in a combo, it kind of automatically
you kind of switch between characters back and forth, and then
special version of a standard attack, which everyone has, which is pretty cool. It helps you kind of figure out more combo strategies. And then on top of that, you mentioned the kind of team-up attacks, which is a good way to, I believe, if you constantly are giving orders and switching between your party members, it fills up a little quicker, so you can get to a point where you're doing a move that is adjacent to a limit break in power, but it's flashy and cool, and it lets you really enjoy the team dynamic element of it.
I think your stuff comes over to this game, but it sucks that I never got
just two
some of those.
And when you try and do it, it gives you an option. So if you've
materials for the different summons, that's a really cool summon that I haven't even got yet.
Some of them are offensive moves, like the one with Cloud and Sephiroth was all about slicing things. Some of them can be defensive moves, where it's we're going to improve your ability to tank damage. So that was pretty cool. And then the other major thing that really stuck out to me was that there's now an ability to do moves from a blocking stance. So if you're blocking previously, you just kind of blocked and that was it, and then you dive out of the way. Now you can, depending who you're with, you've got access to a couple moves that you can do. With Sephiroth, I believe there's one where your blade kind of developed a massive energy field around it, and you could do a huge slice. Or you could almost repel and counter and push back projectiles. So a lot of new intricacies to combat that were interesting with Sephiroth alone, but I can only imagine will provide plenty of depth when you add someone like Barrett or even Tifa especially into the mix, who basically played like a fighting game character.
So we can't say at this point how big this open section is. I don't even know if I can call it open world at this point because we saw such a small part of it. It was obviously closed off for the demo to make sure that we didn't wander off and see something we shouldn't have. First of all, it's like, you know, everyone is there. Everyone in your party is there. You can ride chocobos together. First of all, Red 13 rides a chocobo and it is hilarious because he rides it like a little person. Yeah, kind of going around and adventuring, seeing some but not all of the open world activities. There is a bigger emphasis on things like crafting. So there's a lot of stuff you can pick up in the environment. There are all materials to use when you craft. You go into a menu and then bam, you can make a potion or a high potion, which was, as an RPG fan, I love it. That's what I'm here for. I want to be in menus and doing all that kind of stuff. Didn't get to mess around with like materia too much in our demo. But there were hunts, obviously, big part of Final Fantasy. But now there's kind of like a little bit of a twist on them because you have some kind of robotic voice.
Option as a beast of burden.
I wasn't sure who this character was, but kind of giving you sub-objectives to your main objective of just like, obviously defeat the enemy, but it was like defeat it within a certain time limit, stagger it, pressure it, or kill it before it pulls off a move or something, you know. So those are kind of nice because otherwise I found, especially, you know, coming off of 16, those fights could be a little more, oh, I'm just going to sit here and just, like, hammer away at this enemy. But, you know, having to consciously think about ways to pressure it and stagger it was fun, and I enjoyed doing those.
No being can stand against you. So it was completing our combat objectives.
But the main mission that we did, Tam, do you want to kind of set it up? Because you've got the background in FF7.
The open world area was, like I said, around Junon. It's like lower Junon or under Junon, I believe it is called in the original. I think they use under Junon here. And you are there just... the context in the actual version of the game that we played, which is, you know, the second part of a series which is drastically changing how the story unfolds, felt quite familiar. You're just kind of there, you're on the run to a degree. When you get there, a bunch of people kind of like pop up and they have your wanted poster, but they also understand what you're trying to do, so they're on your side.
Right.
And you get to feel a lot more of the broader world. We got a good kind of indication. We got like real comfortable or like familiar with how it was living under the rule of Shinra in the previous game, and now it's like we're exploring a little more of the world around it and what has happened to places like Junon, which is deprived of, you know, a lot of essential necessities. It's also there where you like one of the major diversions or from the original happened. That's where you meet Yuffie, which is, I believe, different from the original game. You didn't meet her in this way, but she was obviously introduced in the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and now you find her in this game. In Junon, she's having a tussle with a sea beast, which is a good opportunity for them to make a nice little scene happen with a certain dolphin that everyone knows and loves from the original game. But yeah, that is that area felt more narrative focused and kind of like a indication that they want to create more hub areas than previously. The area that we had was small, but there were kind of references to it being much bigger than we had the ability to explore. There was markings that let you, if you were on a chocobo, ride up a wall and into a new area. So but we couldn't do that because it was a little more focused. But yeah, it feels like the area around Junon is as interesting as Junon itself, which is something I hope carries on to the wider game. I feel like what they're doing here is they're condensing it a bit more, but giving you these small areas around these key cities and other locations to have fun in and do some extra cool stuff in.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as someone who's not as familiar with the original, it just felt really good to be back with those characters. I'm really excited to see where they go, what changes they're going to make. I'd forgotten how much I love that combat system, and like once it clicks, it sings. So I'm stoked. Comes out early next year, Leap Day, and as we said, on 2 discs for more coverage on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
All right.
Oh no, you don't.
Planning to move?
So guys, let me know what you guys think about this new gameplay that they showed off today for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think it came out a couple of days ago, maybe 1 day ago. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And I'll, of course, see you guys. Oh, wait. There's more? Oh, okay. Well, actually, no, there's not. I was just checking the website just to make sure. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below because of this gameplay. It was cool. It was sleek. It was adding to whatever a best selling game was. Final Fantasy VII Remake and whatever was introduced and integrated. But all these things matter. And if you manage to get every item and weapon before the new game, by all means. But, you know, if you're like me and keep trying, you can do that too. But, thank you guys for watching. Of course, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.